Chapter 2. The Hollow Floodwalls. Part 1. The second name appeared 3 days after Chancellor Audron Vake died. Naven Orrix was sitting alone in his apartment. The lights were off. Rain tapped against the window. The black book lay open on the floor beside his desk. Its pages moved, even though there was no wind. Naven tried not to look at it. Then his monitor turned on by itself. White text appeared on the black screen. Next debtor found. Naven slowly leaned forward. A name appeared. Marvik Salrin. Below it, a number followed. Victim count, 2,416,009. Naven froze. 2 million people. He stared at the screen, unable to speak. That cannot be right, he whispered. The ledger answered. The number is not complete. A new file opened on the monitor. The Maldris Flood Defense Program. Naven knew that name. Everyone in Velmora knew it. It was supposed to be the largest flood control project in the country. Billions of public money had been approved for it. The government promised strong flood walls, river gates, drainage tunnels, pumping stations, and evacuation roads. They called it the project that would save the people from future floods. Every news screen showed the same image back then. Officials wearing white helmets. Contractors smiling beside fresh concrete. Children waving flags. Marvik Salrin standing in front of a newly built flood wall, promising safety for every family. He was the director of the National Water Defense Authority. The public called him the man who would stop the floods. The ledger showed Naven what really happened. The screen changed. A flood wall appeared. At first it looked strong. Then the image split open. Inside the wall, Naven saw the truth. The concrete was thin. The steel bars were missing. Some parts were filled with sand and broken stone. Other sections had no proper foundation. The next image showed a river gate. It looked complete from the outside. But inside, the machine parts were rusted, cheap, and badly installed. Another image appeared. A pumping station. The building existed, but the pumps inside were missing. The ledger marked it with one word. Ghost Project. Naven breathing slowed. He opened more files. There were fake inspection reports. Fake material certificates. Fake completion photos. Fake payments to workers who never existed. The money had not gone into the flood control projects. It had gone into private accounts. Luxury estates. Foreign banks. Shell foundations. Hidden companies. Naven whispered, they stole from flood walls. The ledger answered. They stole the walls themselves. Then the screen showed the disaster. The Blackwater season. 42 days of rain. 7 rivers rising at the same time. The first flood wall cracked at midnight. The second collapsed before sunrise. The river gates failed next. The drainage tunnels overflowed. The pumping stations did not work. The water entered the low districts like a moving wall. Naven watched people running through flooded streets. Families climbed onto rooftops. Cars floated like toys. Power lines sparked above brown water. A hospital lost electricity. An evacuation center collapsed. Children cried in the rain, while rescue boats struggled through broken roads. The government had called it a natural disaster. The ledger marked every image with a different word. Preventable. Naven covered his mouth. He had seen the flood on the news years ago. He remembered the headlines. He remembered the speeches. He remembered Marvik Salrin standing in front of cameras, wearing a raincoat, saying the country had faced a storm no structure could survive. But now Naven saw the hidden files. The flood control system did not fail because the storm was too strong. It failed because the system was never truly built. A video opened. The recording was dark and grainy. It showed a private meeting room. A long table stood in the center. On the table was a large map of flood zones. Marvik Salren sat at the head of the table. Around him were contractors, officials, inspectors, and political fixers. The ledger labeled them one by one. Naven Orrix, construction contractor. Ilrin Voss, chief inspector. Saviakor, money broker. Torek Malen, Senate protector. They were not worried. They were drinking, laughing, planning. Naven Orrix pointed at a floodwall section on the map. This area needs full-grade steel, he said. If we reduce the materials here, the wall may not survive a strong surge. Marvik looked at the marked district. Who lives there, he asked. Relocation families, Naven answered. Laborers, poor settlements near the river. Marvik leaned back in his chair. And the savings, he asked. Saviakor opened a folder. Enough for everyone at this table. Ilrin Voss smiled. My office can approve the inspection reports. Senator Torek Malen raised his glass. And if anyone questions it, I will call it political sabotage. The room laughed. Then someone asked the question. What if the floodwalls fail? The laughter faded. Marvik looked at the map. His face showed no fear. No shame. No doubt. Then he said, let the river audit them. The people at the table laughed again. Naven paused the video. His hand shook on the mouse. The words stayed in his mind. Let the river audit them. Millions of people had trusted those walls. Families had slept behind them. Hospitals had operated behind them. Children had gone to school behind them. And Marvik Salren had known they were weak. Naven looked back at the victim count. 2,416,009. The ledger opened another file. It showed Marvik Salren after the flood. He stood in front of reporters. His face was wet from the rain. His voice sounded sad. We will investigate every failure, he said. No one responsible will escape accountability. But he had already prepared his escape. The next images showed his hidden route. A private aircraft. A false passport. A new identity. A luxury medical estate in the island state of Caldris. A white mansion near the ocean. High walls. Private guards. Secret accounts. Marvik Salren had fled the country. While the people buried their dead, he disappeared behind foreign money and fake documents. Naven's screen showed a live image from Caldris. Marvik was alive. He stood on a balcony overlooking the sea. He wore clean clothes. He drank expensive wine. Behind him, the ocean was calm. Naven felt something cold rise in his chest. He ran, Naven said. The ledger answered. He did not run from the flood. He ran from the people he drowned. The black book on the floor turned a page. A new list appeared. Primary debtor, Marvik Salren. Then more names appeared below it. Chain debtors. Naven Orrix. Ilrin Voss. Saviakor. Torek Malen. The gray table. Naven stared at the list. This was bigger than one man. Marvik had led the crime. But he had not done it alone. Contractors supplied weak materials. Inspectors signed false reports. Brokers hid the money. Politicians blocked investigations. The ledger displayed one final message. Marvik Salren cannot fall alone. Would you like to turn the next page? Naven sat in the dark apartment. Rain tapped harder against the window. On the floor, the printed victim names from the first case were still scattered around his chair. He thought about the flooded districts, the rooftops, the hospital, the children waiting for rescue. He thought about Marvik Salren laughing in a private room. Then he placed his fingers on the keyboard. For a long moment, he did not type. The ledger waited. The rain continued. Finally, Naven pressed one key. Yes,